So the first lesson is a plan for problem solving. There's a 4-step plan that we would like to follow. And it's just pretty basic. Understand the problem. So quickly read the problem and gain some understanding of it. Write down any information that you know. What do you need to find out? Figure that out. Then plan your strategy. Like, what do you want to do? How are you going about solving this? Do you want to set up a table? Do you want to set up a picture? Do you want to just work it out? Come up with some idea or strategy of solving it. Kind of think about what the answer should be in your head, like quickly estimate it, like if you can, so that way you kind of would know what the answer should be. And then you go ahead and you solve the problem. If that plan didn't work for whatever reason, then you need to go back and revise your plan and keep trying the problem. When you get an answer, you must always check your answer. A lot of students, I'm telling you, would go to this point and get an answer and then they don't even check it. Well, I got an answer, so I must be right. Not necessarily. So always please check your answers. So those are your 4 steps. You can refer back to them anytime. So let's go ahead and work on a problem. So the tower of a free fall ride at an amusement park is 251.5 feet tall. The ride begins to free fall from 18.9 feet below the top of the tower, and the brakes are applied 41.4 feet from the bottom. How long is the free fall portion of the ride? So Zumanjard, I believe is what's called. It's called the Drop of Doom, and this is at Six Flags, New Jersey. So again, there's just little things that you need to do. So you know that the tower is 251 feet tall. So I like to draw a picture. I just think it's easier. So I just make this line here. And I'm in white. I gotta change my color here. Sometimes this happens in these videos. So I have a line here. I'm just gonna make it go all the way down to here. And then this whole thing is gonna be 251.5 feet. So that's the height of the entire thing. That's not how far we're free falling, but that's how tall the picture is. So then what we want to do is we know that the actual tower starts dropping 18.9 feet below that. So technically here is where we start the free fall. So I'm going to show my free fall in red here. So we start free falling, free falling, free falling, free falling. And then the brakes are applied here. This is where the brakes are applied. And that is a distance from here to here is 41.4 feet from the bottom. So that's when the brakes are applied, and then the brakes slow you down. So the portion that we're looking for is that free fall portion, which would be this section right here. We need to know how much this is. So estimate, we could go through a problem and we can use easy numbers to estimate. So we know then that we know the total height, and that we would have to subtract the two things where the brakes were applied, or where the free fall started and where the brakes were applied. So, we could say, all right, that's about 250, we'll say. 250 feet is the total thing. I know it's a little higher. Again, we're estimating. We'll say that the piece up here, from when it starts to free fall, we can say is close to 20 feet. So we can subtract that. We're doing an estimation. That's about 230 feet. And then we can say 41.4 feet, that's around 40 feet. Nice, easy numbers in the estimation. I'm just quickly coming up with a quick answer, just give or take. And then we come up with 190 feet. That's an estimation. So the free fall is about 190 feet, give or take. The actual, then we actually go through it. So we start with the total, the 251.5. And then we subtract, it doesn't matter which one, minus 18.9. And we end up with should be 232.6. and then feet, and then we need to subtract where the brakes were applied, that space from the brakes to the bottom. That was 41.4. So then we are left with 191 feet, and that's the free fall. And we're close, 190 feet, 191. So very close. And again, you don't have to do the estimation. It's just nice to kind of like, oh, this is what I should be getting. So notice I'm very close. Like if I would have gotten 291, I would have known I was wrong, and I would have to go back and revamp my strategy. All right, Mel used half of her film to take pictures of her dog. Then she took 10 pictures of her cat. She has 14 exposures left before she runs out of film. For how many exposures was the film originally? So we need to find that starting number. So, well, we know that she used half of what she had. And then she took 10 pictures of her cat. She has 14 exposures left. Okay, so what we could do is we could start with, because that's what she has left. The 14 exposures is what she has left. So let's start with what was left. Well, it's easy to add on then the 10 exposures for the cat. So prior to taking the pictures of her cat, she had 24 exposures left. Then she used half of that film to take pictures of her dog. So we're kind of working this backwards. So when she took 10 pictures of her dog, that was taking away 10 pictures from her exposures. But notice here we added it to get back to the beginning, so we're working it backwards. So if she used half of her film, that's dividing by 2. So we would want to multiply this by 2, and we would get 48 exposures. So just working it backwards. And that's it for the lesson.